Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. I hope everybody's had a great New Year's. We are back live in the building, fresh and new for the new year here. This is WOKB Gospel 1680, Orlando's Gospel Music Channel. We are always streaming live at WOKBradio.com. And of course, you can find us on the TuneIn app, WOKB 1680 AM. And you can always give us a call as well. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. So I hope everybody's, like I said, having a great New Year's. I know I had a good New Year's bringing in the new year here. How about you, brother? You had a good New Year, bro?
Yeah, I had a great New Year, man. Watch night was awesome. Over in New Life Church of Orlando, Church of God in Christ. We was at the Wakava High School Auditorium. Pastor Derek Hutchins. Awesome. We had a couple performances. A local guy, the pastor's son out of, I believe this church was in Plymouth, I want to say. Had a local group, a couple, three guys from high school. JJ and K, three kids from the school, and then also they put on a production. Our dance team, and combined with the boys' mind team, they had to put on a little production. They performed it at a winter festival in Leesburg, and they did it for the church at Watch Night, and it was just marvelous. I tell you, it was awesome to see. And of course, Pastor Hutchins, he always go preach.
Anybody that knows Pastor Hutchins knows he's going to preach.
He's going to preach.
That is his signature. Oh, that's awesome, man. We got some people that will be joining us a little later as well. And so they'll be floating in throughout the evening here. But, one of the things we just wanted to do today, I told all the family that joins me in the studio, I said, let's get together. Let's have some fun together tonight. We'll talk about some different stories that have occurred over the last 2 weeks that we've been off of the air, and try and engage with the people and find out what are you looking forward to in the new year. Are there changes you're making? Are there things you're looking to happen? Things you're gonna make happen in the new year? Give us a call. Tell us about it. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. Where I start, man, is gonna be last night.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the first thing we gotta mention.
Last night, the first BCS thing, and I see Miss
McCray. She already in here representing Florida State to the fullest.
Florida State to the fullest.
Woo!
Yeah, definitely. Florida State. BCS National Championship game last night was pretty phenomenal, actually.
Yeah, it was.
It was a lot better game than what they were trying to market it for. And of course, Florida State won. I have to say, I was a little, when it came down to that, when the hometown boy.
Yeah, when Levante Kermit Whitfield.
Yes, when the hometown boy ran the touchback.
I was like, okay, we good.
And they ran the touchback, and they had about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. And then, of course, Auburn got the ball. I was a little worried. I mean, we've watched football games all weekend with 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
Whoever had the ball, 5 minutes left in the game, found a way to drive down the field, score a touchdown or a field goal, whatever it is that they needed in order to win the game, and then as a result, of course, win that game. And so I looked at it all night long. Auburn has been running all over the FSU defense, finding holes in the middle of the defense when they need it in the passing game. And so I was like, man, here they go. Like, they ain't stopped them all night. I know they're not going to stop them now. And sure enough, they went on down. They got the touchdown. I was like, 1:20? Woo!
That's plenty of time.
Like, I don't know.
That's plenty of time.
It's a lot of time, but they ain't been playing so well that you look at 1:20 and go, oh, yeah, they got that. Not based on the way the game has been played. But, hey, they found a way And Florida State is back on top.
Yeah.
Florida State is back on top.
Can we talk about the drive, though? Like, take it back to, like, that minute, and he showed everybody how and why he earned the Heisman.
Yeah, he did.
I'm just saying. This kid, on his birthday, now he's 20.
No, he's 20 years old.
20. 20 years old. Drove down the field, because we continued to be at, they're like 20, or our own 20 or something crazy, down the field. We were saved by that flag, though. That
pass interference.
Pass interference. That helped.
Yeah,
that didn't hurt.
It was pass interference.
It was definitely pass interference, but
they should have had the ball in the goal line in the first place when dude host called it
yes,
Rashad Green.
Yeah, there were a couple calls that the refs made, but man, when he made that, although it was 13 seconds left, and I was like, that's too long for Auburn. Because I didn't want the same thing to happen. Like in
the
Alabama
game.
Listen,
this ain't Alabama and this ain't Georgia.
I don't care.
This ain't Alabama and Georgia. I wasn't worried.
I don't care.
I wasn't worried about
anything. Obviously, anything could happen in that game.
That was the third miracle that
they got a miracle in Georgia when they beat Georgia. Then they had a miracle to beat Alabama. You know, luck only goes so far.
Well,
that's why I wasn't worried. Like I say, when
I didn't think they was gonna run it back.
When Kermit Whitfield ran that touchdown back, I wasn't even worried no more. I was like, okay, we good. I don't care what happened.
Really?
When Auburn scored, there's a minute something left. Oh, I ain't worried about that. Come on. At the end of the day, you ain't went to Benjamin all game. At the end of the day, they just could have threw the ball to Benjamin all the way down the field, and they ain't had no defense for it. See, that's the thing. He didn't take the chances he usually take as far as trusting Benjamin, just floating it to him. But he if he would have did that more, they probably been in a better position. But he was under a lot of pressure too. So
he was under a lot of pressure.
But that's
I
why
think
you got
a lot
those
of it,
guys
personal pressure too.
Yeah, I'm sure he put a lot on himself.
Not that he had a big head. I got to give him credit. I mean, I don't know if you probably watched his post game interview, and I think he mentioned "thank God" about 10 times in the post game interview. I was like, okay, bro, I got you.
Yeah.
And thank God, and really gave all the credit to the win towards his faith in God and knowing that God was with him, and through Christ he could do anything. So I could definitely give a shout out for that. But like I said, overall it was a great game. They showed up in the end, and the second half mattered, and FSU is back on top. Did you see UCF ended the season number 10 in the country? I know what you're thinking. What do you got to say about that, Jeremy?
No, I ain't got nothing to say. I mean, that's good. I mean, they beat Bella. They deserve it. They definitely deserved it. But Broyles is supposed to be going to the draft, so next year might be a little tougher. I don't know who they got behind them.
Oh, the quarterback's going to the draft?
Yeah. His stock been rising all year, and that win over Baylor, and they some people say he got a first round grade on him. So, yeah. I mean, he got a good size. He got like 6'4", 6'5", about 240. Make good throws, make good decisions. He don't make a lot of mistakes. You can't ask for too much more out of a quarterback, right? I mean, he doesn't make necessarily spectacular plays, but he's solid.
Oh, okay.
And then a lot of I know Bridgewater's coming out. I know the guy from Oregon, I think he's staying. That Manziel hasn't made his mind up. I mean, other than that, I mean, who is he coming out? Who's coming out? So many people ain't coming out in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Who has such higher grades than him? I believe the guy from UCLA is coming back. They were talking about him earlier in the year having a possibly high grade.
Okay.
But a local kid too. I believe he's from Oviedo. I think that's where he's from.
Oh, he's a Orlando kid too?
Yeah, he's from Oviedo.
Oh, okay. Two Orlando kids shining these days. Huh?
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that something? Jones High is in the. Jones High was on the map last night. That's what it got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd never heard of the guy. I don't follow high school football.
Oh, I was about to say you ain't never
and
heard
so
of him.
they were like, "Yeah, he's from Orlando, Florida." I was like, "Orlando, Florida."
He was in the paper. He was in the paper more for track than anything. Even he was in the paper more for track than he was for football.
Yeah, I saw that. If I remember right, in track he was running like 10.23 or something like that in the 100. I mean, that's
him. And he had a older cousin that's a year older than him that went to Boone, It's Bracy. He was actually at Florida State on the football scholarship too, but he I think right before the season he left football and concentrated on track because they say he had a shot at getting into the Olympics, the next Olympics. So.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
That little guy. They say he's the fastest kid on the team.
Yeah, 4.37.
It's like, all right, freshman.
Yeah, you saw him move. I said when he kicked, I was like, they finna kick this ball and Kermit finna run this back.
You called it.
Watch. I'm sitting at home and say, watch. And he kicked it. And when I saw he got that running start, I was like, oh, it's over with now. Because that's what it's all about. If you ever notice, most of the time when the guys run kickoffs back, once they get that running start and they hit max speed about 20, when they get about that 20-yard line and they at their speed, they pretty much gone. Especially in college, It's because there's not that many people that can catch them,
Okay. I didn't see it coming.
I saw it. See, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was at work. When I got home, they was down 21-10. I was like, okay, now what's going on now?
Yeah.
I think when I turned it on, they felt a little more comfortable, so they was ready to play then. So.
It was because you turned it on?
I think that's what it was.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
I think that's what it was.
Yep.
Jeremy was
Jeremy. They waited for Jeremy.
I had text Bobby Bowden, and I say, you might want to go down to that field and kick somebody or something.
Yeah.
Did Bobby respond to that text, by the way?
Yeah.
He did. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Yep.
Oh,
He was like, I
man.
got you.
407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. FSU fans, man, give us a call.
Woo!
Let us know how you felt about the game last night. I know several people. My wife was watching. She was actually doing schoolwork, but she was obviously paying attention to Facebook like people do on their phone. I don't think they can put it down. But and her comment to me last night was, "Wow, game must not be that. Florida State must not be doing that great because anybody on Facebook talking about it."
You sure won.
That's always the sign.
That's always a sign, bruh. You do right there, like, oh, ain't nobody on Facebook talking about FSU? Oh, they must not be doing too hot. I did notice I had a couple family members that are Miami fans that were commenting.
Look at what they doing now.
I saw those posts, but yeah, the FSU fans, they really show up. I know Miss McCray, I think she posted about 15 posts after the game was won.
No, I started really posting after that touchdown. So really 5 minutes. I had a good 5 minutes of telling them what they needed to do because it was really nerve wracking. It was a great game, but it wasn't great because it was just too much stress. I couldn't take it.
That's what it's a championship game. That's what it's supposed to be. I'm glad it wasn't a blowout.
Yeah, it was good. That was one of the best championship games in a long time to me. Storybook ending. We got an undefeated season. The Heisman winner, and then his stat was the first Heisman winner winning as a freshman to win the championship to win the MVP of the game. So he hit all those records.
And I think I was watching last week. I was watching, ESPN has that show Numbers Don't Lie.
Yeah.
And I wish I could find all of the stats that they were naming, but they were talking about how if they scored at least 28 points, they were going to be score the most points ever for a college football team. So obviously they did that. But she was saying statistically, because that's what the whole show is about, is looking at numbers. And they were saying statistically, this FSU season, had they won, which obviously they did, would really amount to the greatest football season ever when you look at the fact that, he obviously won the Heisman Trophy this year. Mm-hmm. They won the game, so they're undefeated. Obviously, they scored a total amount of points. And then there were a couple other stats that she looked at offensively to really show that, what this team did under his leadership was, an extremely great feat. And obviously I was at work today, so I didn't see any of the shows. But if I know them, I'm sure somebody had that comment today, how this team was possibly the greatest college football team ever. I saw on some of the commentary last night, they did put the question out there. I thought it was funny though, because if you watch any of the coverage, they had Nick Saban on the sidelines on some of the coverage. and they asked him, "Do you think this is the greatest college team ever?" Like, really? Nick Saban's gonna be like, "Yeah, yeah, I do think this is the greatest college football team." It was so funny because as the three of them had the discussion, you know, he just kind of sat there. You could just see the look on his face. And then finally they brought it to him, and it was like, you know, did y'all really expect him to go, "Sure, yeah, this is the greatest college football team ever"? Like, come on now. This is Nick Saban. He still coaches Alabama. But it was a good game, man. Good game, good win all around, man. New Year's though, real quick. Let's talk about the new year. Anybody made any interesting I guess goals this year? Have some goals this year that you're trying to hit, or some things that you're about to change in your life? What's going on, family? Miss Monica's in the building. We didn't acknowledge that, but she's been quietly waiting. She doesn't watch a lot of football, Miss Monica.
I tried, though. I have recently. Just missed those two. I've been busy.
She just asked me,
Yeah,
who won the game?
Ma'am. I haven't been online. I've been off the grid for a little while, so I didn't know anything. And so that's why when I saw, I said, "Oh, who won the game, by the way?"
Yeah. 9:00 the next night.
But generally, I may watch football every now and then.
Every now and
Super
then.
Bowl, sometimes.
Okay.
That's all.
So we'll come back to you in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
To see what you say.
See what I say.
Okay.
It's not going to be that detailed, but
You'll at least know who won the game.
I'll know who won the game,
Okay.
and I may know the number of the quarterback.
Oh,
I may know his number.
wait a minute.
Yeah, I may know the number.
Hold up.
She's gonna learn a lot over the next month.
57, whatever his number is.
Oh man! So what are we planning for the new year, family? Anybody got any goals here they're planning for? No.
What are you planning for?
Honestly, my big plan for the year is to either find some new employment, replace some new employment, or find another source of income that I don't need to get employed. That's my big goal for the year.
Right.
That's a good goal.
One of the two will be happening this year. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. So yeah, if you're out there and you need an educated black man to work for your company,
Just put it out
Who
there.
I'm
possibly
here.
doesn't like President Obama.
and available,
Right.
the RealFamilyTalk@gmail.com. That's where you can hit me up. RealFamilyTalk@gmail.com. If you got any offers that any interest in having a educated, I'm gonna say young. I'm not not 20, but I'm still young.
Still young.
Yeah.
I'm still young, black man. I have a lot of skills in education and management. So that's what I can do. RealFamilyTalk@gmail.com. That's what it's about.
All right.
I got another new thing, too. There is a magazine article. I had my first non-Real Family Talk published piece writing in a local digital magazine produced locally here in the great city of Orlando. Rejoice magazine. She just released her January-February issue, digital January-February issue. Rejoice magazine. Miss Tamia Brinson, and she was I'm gonna call her nice enough to allow the conservative brothers, y'all like to call me, J Real, to put a little post in there about gay marriage. So man, check that out. Rejoice magazine is the name of the magazine. Her I have to look at. I should have it memorized off the top of my head, but I don't. But before I leave, I will shout out her website as well, so that you can go find her digital magazine, and a lot of interesting stuff in there. She did an article on Carlos Smith. He is the new head of the Orange County chapter for Democrats. So that was her cover story, and then she has a lot of other pieces in the magazine as well. So I'm going to find it. I have something in my head, but I want to verify what I'm saying is true before I say it. But yes, check that out. She was posted the other day. She said she has over 5,000 views of her digital magazine, and just got released January 1st. So 7 days and already over 5,000 views of a digital magazine, which is her first issue too. She was doing a paper version. Now she's doing it digitally, and she's 5,000 views in 7 days. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take 5,000 views in 7 days. So shout out to Tamia Brinson, Rejoice Magazine, and I will find that website and shout that out as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to, Ms. McCray. New employment or another source of income so that I don't have to work for somebody. That would be awesome.
Amen to that.
That would be awesome. So what about you guys? What are you looking forward to?
I'll speak. I'm looking forward to, and I talk to God, just healing. I'm still on, for our listeners that don't remember or did not know, I still have this ridiculous rare liver disease that leads me to a liver transplant. Thank God that I'm not like as sick as they want me to be or need to be, but I am, but physically you couldn't see it. But it is. So God has been blessing me with that, just continuing to keep me going. But just for this year, for healing and complete recovery, a smooth recovery, to be able to move on and have a life back, like to really get my independence back and just be healthy. Just be healthy. That's what it is. Healthy for my family, healthy for my friends. Health. That's number one for me. God, family, and all that stuff, but health.
Yes. Health, yeah, man.
That's my.
Absolutely.
We're nothing if we aren't healthy.
Yeah.
Yes. What about you, Miss Monica? What you doing?
I don't have a whole lot for myself. I definitely taking time to relax. As you all know, I do about 8,001 things, and so just trying to, take more vacations, do things like that for myself.
Good for you.
To recuperate from those very long work days. As far as my businesses, I'm doing quite a bit with that. Actually, next week we have a premarital seminar on January 18th for those that are engaged and would like to get a discount on their marriage license. I can post some information on the RealFamilyTalk Facebook page so you can get more information about that, and doing some consulting work if you're in the health profession and you're looking to obtain meaningful use before the 2015 deadline. I'm doing some work on that, so I can get y'all information about that if you're interested in learning more. But as far as me, it's just full speed ahead, staying focused and helping the community as well as taking care of myself, and that's about it.
I do have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I noticed on Facebook you were under construction. What's that about?
Under construction. Spiritually under construction.
Oh, spiritually under
Yes,
construction. Okay.
yes.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. I was like,
What is she doing?
what is under construction?
No plastic surgery. No, just, seeking God's direction on what to do for this year and things like that. But no, I won't come back with a different nose. Don't worry.
Right.
Please don't.
No new noses.
I like my nose.
We might have to do a whole show on that. What in
Monica
the world
got a
is
new
wrong
nose.
with Monica?
And why does she have a new nose?
Why does she have a new nose?
What is that about? 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. What about you, Brother Jeremy? What's on your list, sir?
My list is short, and I think if I can more concentrate on this, I just really want to get closer to God. Really get where He want me to be. Because I believe if I get there, everything else will take care of itself. Obviously I want more gainful employment, not just gainful employment. I'm ready to start signing my own checks. And it's like the older I get, the more tired I am of working for people. It's like, and it's to a point where it's like irritating, So it's like I know something's coming around. Something's coming around. I don't know what it is. That's why you got to have faith, because when you can't see it, you just got to believe. So that's where I'm at with mine.
All right.
That's all I'm worried about. If I can get there, I think I'll be all right.
All right, that's what's up. 407-894-1680. Give us a call. Tell us what's new for you this year, whether it be a new thing you're starting in your life, a New Year's resolution that you have for yourself, whatever it is. We'd love to hear about it. 407-894-1680. I told you we're going to talk about some stories as well that's happened over the last 2 weeks. I'll tell you one I saw on Facebook blew me away. There was a story, if I remember right, it was about a pastor in Africa. He told his congregation he was going to walk on water like Jesus. Going to walk on water like Jesus. So the pastor took the congregation out to, I can't remember if it was a river or if it was a lake or an ocean, whatever it was. He took them out to a body of water. And the pastor stepped out on faith into the water to prove to his congregation that he was going to walk on water. They say he took the first step and was okay. But by the second step,
so he was like Peter.
They said,
so he was like Peter. He started losing faith.
He started losing faith, and they said, I don't think they saw the man again.
It was a storm cloud coming over there. He was, oh, Lord.
Yeah, I saw the article, and I was wondering, I said, did he die? Yeah. Like, did they go and get him? Like, did they just watch him drown?
No, they let him go.
They were wanting to see if he was going to come back up.
Yeah.
If he was going to rise again, I guess. Wanted to find out if he was going to rise again. Maybe they went back on the third day. I don't know.
That's one of them things. I'm not one to try to tell people what God told them to do. Mm-hmm. But when you do something, please make sure it was God that told you that. Mm-hmm. Please, people.
And to have wisdom. I mean, you just don't do things that just, threaten your life. Actually in the article, it also talked about an individual, I don't think it was from Africa, but that they jumped into a lion's den.
Oh, it was
Africa. Oh, yeah.
And it was African.
It was Africa, too.
Okay, so, and he didn't have wisdom. And he
like,
became,
damn, he was going to go in the lion's den.
Said, and the zookeeper was like, no, man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do it. He said, I got this. I have faith that my God is going to protect me. The article said, and seconds later, the lions destroyed him.
It's like, God would not tell you to go. It has to make sense. Like, those situations God had the glory out of because they were in that particular situation.
Right.
It's not like God didn't say, go jump into something.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel didn't tell, God didn't tell Daniel to go get in the lion's den.
Right.
They put him in there.
And God protected him inside the lion's den.
Right. Don't go jump into a fiery furnace. Like, don't do that. That's not God's plan.
That's when people don't really read the Bible. Even Jesus said, "Don't tempt the Lord."
Right. Exactly.
So what are you doing?
Just not making sense. I can't. And it's hard because you want. I can see how people could be torn. Like, you want to believe that. God told him, because I'm sure he shared, God told me to do this.
I'm sure he did.
You can't.
And he probably believed that in the back of his mind.
Yeah, so you can't be like, no, dog, that's not making any sense. But, that's devastating that they didn't go and get him. I can't believe that part. Like, they just watched him drown. Mm-hmm. Just watched.
Yeah.
I ain't lying. I probably wouldn't have got him either. I was like,
wow.
Just like
you got it.
There
bro.
was no no member in the congregation said, okay,
nobody.
Just in case.
I think if I was there, I would have felt something about it after I saw him go under.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I would have at least jumped in and tried to save the man. Right. You may not have been successful, but I think I would have jumped in and at least tried to save the man. After you find, you go, because after he goes down, you were like, okay, well, maybe he gonna, obviously he probably swim, so he gonna come back up.
Well, that's a whole other thing too. Could he swim? Could he swim? Well, evidently not, right?
Apparently not.
No.
Apparently he was not a good swimmer.
That just,
yeah.
Even if you aren't a very good swimmer, you could still somewhat float. like he just
submerged
he just really
into the
didn't do
water.
too well with that.
So what I'm trying to understand is, was there like a drop off in the water? Because it said the second step. So the first step, he was all right, right? And so what? If I read it correctly, the second step is where he went.
Well, he was supposed to be walking on the water anyway. So why was he in the water? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know I'm trying to create logic out of a non-logical situation, but I'm just saying.
Bless his heart.
See, for me, once I took the first step and I was under the water,
yeah.
See, I would have had.
Right.
I'm not on top of the water.
What did Arsenio Hall used to say? Things that make you go, Something ain't right here.
Let me tell you this. How about I wouldn't have went out there at all? I mean, I'm talking about. I would have had to pretty much hear from God in stereo.
Can you send me a text,
Brother Jeremy?
Put it on my Facebook, please, Lord.
Go to the water.
Open up the heavens and tell. But and then you think in hindsight, like, what if God did tell him to go out there, but he just didn't have the faith to believe he was gonna make it?
And then he should have went out there. Then.
He just, because sometimes we launch out there, we do crazy stuff, and we know that God has sent us to do peculiar things, but then we just our mindset is not ready for it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And,
I was like, well, if God told you to do it, you was obedient, you'll be all right, even if you wasn't ready for it.
That's true.
But did he tell you? That is the question.
That's the question. That is the question. 407-894-1680.
Was his voice the voice that you heard?
Right. Exactly.
Was that your ego?
Right.
Telling you got this.
Showing off in front of your congregation who let you drown.
Oh, man. I'll tell you about another one that got me along the same lines. The documentary that came out, the SeaWorld had the death of the trainer. Blackfish. And they made this whole documentary, Blackfish. Mm-hmm. And so here's really the only thing I remember about, two things I remember about the video. One, they hate SeaWorld and they think you shouldn't go to SeaWorld. I disagree. I think SeaWorld's great and I will be going back again several times. But
watch the fish.
But the thing that got me was there were, obviously they interviewed trainers and one of the trainers was saying when they, as a kid, you watched, you went to the Shamu show. You're like, oh man, I'd love to be a trainer, one of those trainers. And so they said, in their mind, always assume, they need to be a marine biologist in order to become a SeaWorld trainer. They said, to their surprise, though, when they went to look for the job, they said all they needed was a great smile and a great personality.
Yep.
Really?
And that's all you needed to be a trainer. And SeaWorld will take care of the rest. Now, see.
Right there.
Right there. I told my wife, I say, right there. Now I know why there ain't no black SeaWorld trainers.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no way that you're going to tell me all I need is a great smile and a great personality. I could be a SeaWorld trainer.
Like,
I'm going to go learn some stuff on my own about the killer whale.
You want me
before
to
I jump
in
the water with this couple 1,000-pound animal that can kill me in the blink of a heartbeat.
Killer whale.
I'm not that brave. Now I can swim with the best of them.
Well, in the freezing
but I
cold
know I can't outswim no killer whale. No orcas, no shamus.
And not in a confined space.
No. But the key word for me alone would have been killer. Whale.
And see, that's the thing. See, we
That's it.
We in Orlando, Central Florida. We spoiled. We used to seeing shamu in commercials. Like, oh man, them just whales. They just play with people. No, them things eat.
No, they eat, bro.
It's
no different, bro.
They eat meat, raw meat, just like other whales.
It's no different when you talk about trainers and lions, and then the lion bite the trainer. Like, he's a lion.
He's an animal.
Give him enough opportunities, and one of them times he gonna bite you, bro. I mean, it just makes sense. He eats meat. He hunts meat.
Yeah.
And you look tasty. I'm just.
And you've been playing with these fish along.
Exactly. You
I'm
smell.
wondering if your hand tastes like fish.
Exactly. You smell like straight fish.
Right. And then even in the documentary, they talked about how apparently the whales can tell when the little fish, containers that keep the fish for them, they can hear when it gets low.
Yeah.
First of all, If I'm the trainer that day, the last thing that you gonna do to me is have a low fish tank.
Right.
If fish gotta be barreling out the side of the tank, I'm gonna have enough fish.
Hey, boss.
To get that whale.
Fish.
I ain't going
You ain't
nowhere
gonna catch me slipping.
crazy.
Talk
You
about
just
scraping the
supposed
barrel
Listen.
of the bottom of the thing looking for fish
I'm
because
not
we
getting
didn't
in that
gave all
water.
the fish out. That ain't gonna happen, bro.
That whole situation is crazy in general. Did you see when they had the one trainer that was the experienced one that the whale kept taking under? But
Yeah.
but he was so calm.
Yeah.
It was so funny. He was like, "Yeah, you all right? You all right?" That thing swimming around. That boy took off. I'm telling you, he would have beat Michael Phelps. The way that boy was swimming, as soon as that whale turned his back, that boy took off. I was like, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to disparage it. I'm really not trying to make light of the situation. I'm really not. But I'm just, just for me, and when you think about the idea that you want me to go in this tank with a killer whale, I'm sorry. Just as a personal thing, you couldn't have convinced me that all I needed to do was listen to you. You know what I mean? This is not a retail shop at SeaWorld that you, okay, your retail shop is still, yeah, I'll listen to you. Tell me what you want me to do. But go in a tank with a couple 1,000-pound animal that can snap me in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And you gonna train me all I need to know? Nah, you can't train me all I need to know. Nah, you couldn't. I'm gonna need to be a marine biologist with a focus on killer whales.
Exactly.
Spend my whole last year in college focused on
last
killer
year.
whales.
And
training
I need to be studying them in a while.
I might need to get me a master's degree in killer whales. You know what I'm saying? Before you put me in a tank with the killer whale. But a great personality and a great smile, right there. I told him, I said, man, that's why you didn't see no black trainers right there. Because you ain't going to convince no black people to go in the water. Talking about, oh, yeah, you just need a great personality and a great smile. We'll teach you everything else you did, though.
Yeah.
I don't know no black people signing up on that gig.
Nope.
But just a couple things that I noticed, man. Hey, what about you? Anything you guys noticed? I don't want to take up all the time.
This weather that is so cold that the prisoner who escaped from prison turned himself back in because it was too cold outside.
Oh wow.
In Kentucky. Now that's funny.
That's cold.
That's
That
cold.
is funny.
The man escaped.
So he was gone.
He was gone.
You better knocking on the door. Hey,
Hey,
hey.
let me in.
Hey,
Let
man,
me in.
I left my jacket.
It's cold out here.
Give me a blanket.
Hey y'all, I'm back. Lock
Left
me
my
up.
jacket.
I don't want to talk about how I got out.
Hey, throw it over the fence.
Yeah, you go back to jail because it's too cold outside.
My.
In Chicago, the polar bear at the zoo didn't go outside.
The
polar bear.
Now you know that's cold.
Didn't go outside. What?
Like, man, these people trip.
Right.
You know they were saying the weather in the United States right now is colder than it is in Alaska currently.
Yeah, I heard
just
that.
is ridiculous.
They were saying Atlanta was colder than Alaska.
Yeah.
They said the other day Chicago was colder than, was it the North Pole or the South Pole?
Oh
one of the
my
poles.
goodness.
Yeah.
Chicago was colder than one of
The
the poles.
polar bear said, heck no.
Like, man,
I'm not going out there.
He probably sitting there looking.
Yeah.
What are these folks doing here? Don't they realize it's cold?
It's snowing.
He peeking from behind the window like, boy, I tell you, but these
I ain't
folks
going
great.
out there. That article had cracked me up.
These
Mr.
people
Polar
are
Bear was like, no.
He probably
Not
thinking like, I know I look good, but man,
That's why I've survived all these years, because I don't go out in this weather.
Yeah. He probably was born in the zoo. He don't know nothing about that real polar bear weather.
I mean,
Give him a
it's
Coke
cold.
and a smile.
I know.
That's it.
And the thing, the Packers and the Niners
Ooh.
played in negative weather.
Well, no, it was 3 degrees outside, but it felt like negative 12. I think it
my.
said. But it was 3 degrees.
And
One,
Kaepernick-
two, three.
Cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that going outside and be
Prancing
like,
around.
what was the count from from Sesame Street? How
Oh.
cold is it count?
Yeah, the count. They got
One, 2,
Yeah.
3 degrees outside.
Getting tackled and the ball is probably rock hard. It
Yeah.
just,
Well, yeah, the kicker in that game for San Francisco, which I thought was I don't think he ever say anything like this, but apparently he was, you know how the sideline reporters do the interview with the players, and the sideline reporter was saying right before he was scheduled to kick. It was setting up. The San Francisco was going to have to try and kick that winning field goal. They were like, yeah, we talked to the kicker, and he was saying that he doesn't really have any faith in any kicks he does tonight because it's so cold.
His leg may freeze in position.
The ball is rock hard, and your foot and all of this stuff. He was like, yeah, he didn't have any faith in any kicks he does tonight. I was like, wow. Alrighty then. That's a great thing to say right before he's gonna have to kick try and kick the winning field goal. But hey, he was successful. He was successful. San Francisco is still in the playoffs. So we'll see how they do against the Carolina Panthers this weekend. What do you think is gonna happen in that game? You guys got any opinions on that? Is Cam Newton going to shine, or is Colin Kaepernick going to show us why he won last week?
I think it's all irrelevant. Russell Wilson.
All the way.
That's what y'all need to be talking about.
Wow.
Russell Wilson. Can we talk about why the Super Bowl is going to be in Jersey?
Because they got the most money, that's why.
It's going
They
to
put up
be
the most money, that's why.
freezing for this game. And if it snows, like it's going to be like, what was that, Philly game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see a Super Bowl like that.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting time.
I want them to be at their best. That seems like that would be a hindrance.
And you're going to have to be at your best regardless.
It's like bad rain.
Even the Philadelphia, they scored some points in the Philadelphia and the Saints game.
Some points.
Scored some points. I can't remember the exact score, but it was at least 60 points between the two teams.
It just was too much. They're going to freeze.
Whatever happened to Orlando's, I guess, hope to become a Super Bowl location?
You need a football team.
Not even that you need a football team. I would say you can drive down Tampa Avenue. There's the hope right there.
And you need a stadium.
I know they're doing all this renovation on the Citrus Bowl
the
because
Citrus
they
Bowl
planned
is not
on.
going to cut it. It's not going to cut it.
No.
It's not Super Bowl ready.
It's not Super Bowl.
The Citrus Bowl is not
it's barely
Super
bowl
ready.
game ready, to be honest with you.
Right.
And you consider the fact, you think about it. Obviously the bowl games were a success, but right now down on Church Street, the whole street is still plowed up, trying to do renovations. So it was amazing that they got in and accomplished with all that construction going on. But the Citrus Bowl is not bowl ready. If we ever want to get a football team in the city, we're gonna have to find a place to build a brand new stadium. You are not going to renovate the Citrus Bowl and convince anybody that you should bring an NFL team anywhere near the Citrus Bowl. It's just not going to happen.
No.
It's not ready. It's not even close. Not even close. 407-894-1680 is the number.
I just remember that conversation at some point, so I was
1680. Obviously the city wants it. We got a basketball team, but again, they got the new stadium that will support and a respectable NBA stadium. That's why we got the basketball team. You know what I'm saying? Because if we didn't get that, we were about to not have a basketball team too.
Yeah.
You think about even the soccer. We got the Citrus Bowl, but what are they doing? They're building a brand new soccer stadium in order for the MLS to come.
Not good enough.
So they're building a brand new stadium. Citrus Bowl not good enough. Big enough, because trust me, they ain't gonna fill out. The soccer Citrus Bowl was not selling out soccer games, but I'm sure the soccer stadium that they build is not going to be anywhere near the size of the Citrus Bowl. But if we want a football team here, a professional one, you're going to have to build a brand new stadium. You even look at UCF. They got a football team. What do? Build a brand new stadium. Ain't nobody trying to use the Citrus Bowl. We want people to use the Citrus Bowl. And we convinced at least 3 games. We have about 4 bowl games here, but that's going to be about it.
So, but now that it's going to a playoff, so the bowls that were here aren't going to be here? Are they going to do that?
I don't necessarily understand, because it's only a 4-team playoff.
Right.
So 4 teams are getting into the playoffs.
Is,
so I think all those lower bowls are happening.
Okay.
I think it's the 4 top BCS
The only thing
teams,
The only thing is changing is each bowl is going to be assigned a playoff. I think is what it is.
Okay.
A certain bowl will be assigned a playoff game. And I think after those playoff games, after it gets down to that one, it's going to be similar to how it is now. The national championship game is kind of separate. It's not a bowl game. It's the national championship game.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I think all of the lower bowls,
everything else is gonna
82
stay.
other bowls.
Yeah.
So all the 82 other bowls are gonna go on.
Yeah, they still gonna be there.
As planned, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's only 4 teams gonna be in the playoffs. So I'm sure FSU. You guys think FSU is gonna be there?
Yes.
In the perfect world, I'm sure Alabama believes they'll be there. Auburn probably believes they'll be there because I think most of Auburn's teams coming back, right?
I believe so.
So I'm sure they believe they'll be there, and I'm sure Ohio State probably says they're gonna come back and be a little bit more respectable in their final 2 games of the season. So I'm sure they believe they'll be there too, something like that. But yeah, that's what's going down next year, man. Real quick, a couple of quick kind of political things too. That I heard. I was listening to the radio today, and I heard about, obviously the government did a new budget right before Christmas, and they were talking about how one of the things that by us was the idea that they were cutting the pay of working veterans by 1%. Obviously retirement, I should say, cutting their pensions by 1%. Is what I heard this morning. And I was kind of blown away by that. Like, really? We're cutting the pension of working veterans or retirees by 1%? Because, in the military, after 20 years, you can retire, collect a pension. So you go in at 18, you serve 20 years, you come out, you're about 40, and you got a pension at 40, and then, most people are going to find another job.
Yeah.
And
collect
their pension and then have their job. And so they was figuring, they could afford the 1% cut. Then I was reading. I heard that on the radio. Then I started reading, because you got to read. Don't believe what you hear on the radio. Verify. Trust,
except this show.
Believe, or verify.
Of course.
Well, we're going to tell you the truth all the time,
the truth.
regardless of whether or not you like it. Right, Ms. McCray?
Always.
So
Yes.
I was reading, and it's not actually a 1% cut on their pension. It's actually a 1% cut in their COLA, the cost of living increase. So, in essence, to give you just an example from what I was reading, if the cost of living increase is normally 4.2%, they're going to not give them 4.2, they're going to give them 3.2. So they're cutting by 1% the cost of living increase, not the actual pension. Mm-hmm. So here's my question. When you heard the first story, which is how I heard it this morning, that seems pretty bad, right? You're cutting the pensions of people who have gone to, especially in these days, we're talking about people who spent the last 5 to 7 years in the desert or in the mountains, breathing dust, And I've heard stories where they weren't even washing uniforms for these people. Because it's crazy because they were saying that they would, obviously the companies contracted to wash their uniforms, but they were saying that they would send the uniform off to get washed. But what the company would do was take the uniform, drive around for a few hours, kind of hit them against the side of some poles or something, and then bring the uniforms right back to them. Like, here you go, your fresh uniform. So these are people been in the desert, in the mountains for the last 5 to 7 years. Some of them, 1-2 years at a time, with maybe a few weeks break in between. And then we're cutting their pension. See, that sounded bad to me. But when you think about if it's just a cost of living increase, does that make it better, or is it still just as bad? What's y'all's opinion on that?
I don't think that's as bad. I mean, at least they're not taking money out of their pocket that they had coming. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're just not getting the whole raise. Right. So it could be a lot worse. But of course, they go put, they're cutting by 1%. That's the headline. That's to get you to click on the article. Okay, that's another hit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's kind of how I felt after I actually read. I mean, it isn't so bad. It doesn't sound so bad if you're only cutting their cost of living. So you're not reducing their pension. You're just reducing the increase, because they were saying that it was going to save several $1 billion in order to do that. And obviously, we're in the business of trying to find ways to cut and save money so that the government is not bleeding as much money.
Once you bleed, does it really matter how much you bleed at that point?
It does. It actually does matter how much you bleed.
You when you're bleeding trillions, is another $1 billion really going to make a difference?
It actually does matter, Miss Monica.
I just don't think that anything can be done. It's already bad.
It don't matter. It's all on paper.
It is all on paper. It truly is. But, you know, like I said, I was shocked by the initial thing that I heard today. And then, you know, again, sensationalism. And then I said, oh, okay. So you're not cutting their pension. You're just cutting the increase, which, you know, I hear you. But I, you know, I kind of feel like I'm sure the logical argument to why this was okay, you know, if you're talking about people who are retiring at 40, 45, and then going out and working anyway. I mean, we're not talking about people that are hurting by the, you know what I'm saying? They're not hurting by the increase. You know, they're only helping if they get it. And, you know, if they, you know, we're not talking about like $20,000 of their pensions being cut here. We're probably talking a couple of, you know, maybe $1,000, $1,200 when you look at it over the course of a year. But, you know, I just don't think it's that bad. And, you know, and everybody's putting in something except for the people who need to. You know, they're not cutting nothing. you know, they're not cutting nothing. They're certainly not going to cut their own salaries. That's just not. That's not going to happen, unless we call for it. You know, are we going to demand that this year, y'all? Are we going to demand that they cut their own salaries before they start cutting other people's salaries?
I think we should.
Probably not.
I really think we should. Like,
We
they
should-
should get
I'm
like a
with
5% deduction.
I'm with you.
Like,
with
especially with, you know, the whole you can't agree on anything, so you just shut the government down. That should have been 5% right off the top. Like, if you don't know how to compromise, then you lose money. If we lose money, you lose money. But, you know,
Yes.
how that goes.
Yes.
So,
I'm not ready to talk about politics yet. Like, I mean, I know.
I'm not either.
I know
I
this
just can't.
year we have a big race, but I'm just, I'm still fatigued from the national elections. I just don't want to hear the crap.
Well, you know, this
on
is
both
not national.
sides.
This is going to be local.
I know, but it's going to be even. That's what I'm saying. I'm fatigued from that, so I can't even think about the local stuff.
Well, I mean, there's both going on, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of local stuff happening.
It's just
too.
the crap that's flung back and forth on both sides. It's
And
like both of y'all shut up.
and it's who we have to choose from.
Right.
Like, it's just so
Yeah. I'm
Just
exhausted already.
frustrating.
Don't worry.
Already.
Don't worry. The illustrious
despair.
former governor
I'm over it.
Charlie Chris is going to
nothing
wow
look
you,
forward
Miss
to.
Monica.
I
Oh, my
know. I
God.
really don't believe so.
The illustrious,
I
great
don't
former
care for
governor
him.
Charlie Chris is going to wow you.
Yeah, for now,
This,
and then
in the
once
next
he
couple
gets,
coming months, he's going to wow you and impress you so much
oh yeah,
that come
I'm sure.
November, you're going to be running to the polls.
yeah,
Please.
and come December, everybody's gonna hate him because he would have changed his mind by then.
Because that's what I'm thinking. Can you do that? So can you run as a Democrat, you get elected, and then while you're in office, can you switch parties? Can you do that? I need to
I
research
don't
that.
think you can switch while you're. Well, I'm sure you know what. You probably could switch while you're in office, but
It doesn't matter.
it
I mean,
it
you
doesn't
can
benefit you. I
switch
don't see the
thoughts
benefit.
and you know,
Right.
theories.
That's what I
saying.
mean,
You
like
can
the
always switch
thoughts.
philosophies.
Yeah.
Or
You gotta imagine you can switch
you
parties
get it.
at any point.
You have
Hey,
the
you-
label of a Democrat, but then
Yeah.
your policies match the other
Exactly.
party.
You can get in and be like, trick you.
Yeah.
Psych your mind.
Here's another big one out. I got two more for you. Well, one is kind of political. The other one is I thought was just.
I'm not ready for politics.
But obviously, you guys know Denver, January 1st. Not Denver, Colorado, the state of Colorado. It is now legal to buy recreational marijuana in the state of Colorado. So two things I found very, very interesting about this story. One, they apparently sold over $1 million worth of pot on the first day.
Yep.
Are you shocked?
I'm not
No,
shocked.
Why is
they
it
sold-
not taxed?
They
It
sold
is
more than
taxed.
they
It
sold
is.
more
No,
than
it
this.
is
They
taxed.
getting money.
8%.
They
It is
said- they-
taxed.
they
No,
sold-
they're taxing it like 20%.
No, they probably
Really?
sold about 10 million.
Now, and here's the other interesting thing. They've sold so much already that the state is in danger of running out of their recreational pot.
That's why I said they sold more than that. That
The
just is what
state
the state.
actually has like stock in
Medicinal.
The state,
purposes.
I don't know if the state owns any dispensaries, but the state is obviously regulating dispensaries. It was so interesting because I was watching Arsenio last night, and the young man that was popularized as being the first person to actually buy legal marijuana. One, he was a setup. He acknowledged that last night because he was a war veteran that had PTSD, and so he smokes marijuana to help cope with his PTSD. But he said, they had asked me to be the first person. And then I found out later on they were talking about his job, and he was like, oh, yeah, I work at a medical dispensary, medical marijuana dispensary. He was like, oh, okay. Yeah. This all comes together for me. But here's the thing for me. $1 million in the first day. They expect to collect almost $67 million in taxes in the first year alone. Legalization of marijuana is coming, people.
Yeah, the petitions you're
talking
here.
That's a huge amount of dollars for states to collect. And obviously, I think the 67 million is probably low. I bet you it hits at least 3 figures by the time it's all said and done. Hundreds of millions of dollars that they're going to collect off the taxes in Colorado. So it's coming. Get ready. If you don't like it, don't buy it is what I tell you. But it's coming because states are about money. And once once Colorado proves you can make serious tax dollars off of this,
everybody go jump.
They're going to jump on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's coming. And, I was blown away by it. I mean, you expect it to be a huge success because, these days it seems like everybody smoke marijuana, but
not everybody.
Well,
a lot of
folks.
I've been delivered.
But
we'll keep
I hear you. But just in the general population of 300 million people, there's quite a few of those 300 million
people
that smoke marijuana.
Well, here's the question. So if that state runs low, if they say go over to Arizona or a neighboring state, is that considered trafficking?
I would think it would because it's still a federal crime.
I was
right.
The feds
so
would
if they run out,
it's interesting.
Like
I said, I think it's interesting to see how that happens.
I'm curious.
With withdrawal symptoms.
That'll be interesting. No, they gonna have their weed. They gonna get it.
This is the funny thing. Who has the contract to supply the state?
I don't know.
That is the question.
What dispensary?
That is the question. Real quick, one other note before we get out of here. Miss McCray had pointed out a story. I told her to go ahead and tell me about.
So apparently, sharks can tweet surfers in Western Australia. They've had a ridiculous amount of shark attacks. So some scientists have gone and tagged these sharks, over 300 sharks, so that if they hit a certain area or if they get too close to the shore, it will send a tweet to the surfer or to you if you follow that call.
Really?
Question: what surfer is gonna have their phone?
That's the question I was just
out
going to ask.
on the water.
Right.
Now in the morning, okay, maybe the sharks are closer to shore. Maybe you shouldn't go out. But once you're out there, what?
Yeah.
And then what about the
iPhone
sharks
5,
that you didn't get? You can't tell me you tagged every shark in the dang on ocean. You can't tell me that, science.
They're great white.
Well, what happened? What he would do is he would let his friend know, and then his friend would
he gonna
tweet
send
you
a tweet
to let you know, hey, my boy is out in the water
shark
today.
fin.
They go together. They go
Jaws.
in pairs.
Be careful.
Hey man,
My homie is in the water.
don't go out there.
He's close.
It's real.
And he's
Go
hungry.
look it up.
He's
It's called
hungry.
Surf Life Save, and they will send you a tweet from a shark, so you won't get eaten.
Maybe it's for the girlfriend sitting on the sand to tell the surfer out there, don't go out
Hey,
there.
babe,
Hey.
I got the tweet. Come back. It's a shark.
Come back.
That's when technology just gets too big for its own britches. Like, I see what you're trying to do, but really?
A tweet.
A
shark
tweet
is going to tweet you.
To the surfer.
To the surfer.
In a
what
wetsuit.
What does
In a
it say?
wetsuit.
Like the coordinates of the
It
of
Maybe
the
it's a
shark,
requirement for all surfers.
It says fishery advised tag bronze, whatever that shark was tagged, is detected at meal up shore or whatever at 4:27 a.m. or p.m.
Wow.
What?
That's all you can say to that is why.
Maybe all those surfers are required to have waterproof phones when they're surfing, so that they can
That's a new market.
receive their tweet.
See, for y'all that want to be independent,
And be
there you
safe.
go.
I can't deal.
Get tweet
You
Hey,
try.
man.
plugs or something.
We're
Be
we're
careful
almost,
out there, folks.
We're almost out of here, man. Again, I thank you guys for joining this ride with me. Thank you again. Before I go, I told you I was gonna go check out that site so I can give it out. Again, it's called Rejoice Magazine is the name of the magazine. It is produced by Tamia Brinson. This is all local Orlando magazine here, digital magazine. You can find it online at rejoicemagazine.net. rejoicemagazine.net. So go check it out. Digital magazine. She's already got over 5,000 views within the first 7 days of the year here. So go and let's make it happen. Give her 10,000 views, 100,000 views. And we will see you next week. This is Jay Real signing off.
Sharks tweeting the surfers. I just don't know. Sometimes things get you.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
What is this that I feel?